Okay, so I haven't done a video in a minute. I've been good. I've been taking care of things in my personal life, taking care of myself and getting into a clearer, more creative state. But at the same time, I almost feel like there's been like a blockage when it comes to this spirituality. Particularly when it comes to like a tarot reading. Like, I don't even have my tarot cards out right now, I'm right there, but like I was just planning on talking this time because I just haven't felt like doing a tarot reading, and that I know is largely in part because of this draining energy that I've been dealing with. So I wanted to talk about that a bit. It's something I'm sure a lot of people can relate to, or at least understand, like, when I explain it. But so I'm gonna get like real personal with this one, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything about it, but like I just need to get these things out, and this is my way of communicating. This is my therapy. So I moved into this place, right? And everything about it is incredible for me. Everything about the space itself, everything about like where I'm at in life to be able to have this. Like, I was organizing my closet a couple days ago, and like hanging up all of my clothes, like making sure all of my stuff is hung up and in my dresser, and like that, like I have all my stuff where I want it, like in my own space, and like it's my own space. I have not had this for 4 years at all. Like, I've been living in other people's space. I've been having like just a few of my things, or like even when I was like at my parents' house and had all of my things, like that was still fucking living with my parents, right? So like this is like the first time in 4 years that I have had my own space, my space. I paid for this. This is mine. Yes, I'm renting, but it's still my space. It's still something that I worked for, that like I don't have to share with anybody else. This personal space, this room. And even like most of the house, like it's a very, very large house. So like my roommates aren't here all the time. So like generally I have a lot of space to myself. And that's the first time that I've had that in 4 years. And I have gone through so much in those 4 years, like, that this is, it's just, like, as I was, like, putting all my stuff in the closet and, like, deciding where I wanted things and stuff, it was just, like, overwhelming emotionally, like, very, like, in a good way. Like, it was like, man, I worked so hard for this, and, like, I've been through so much, and, like, I don't think most people can understand what it feels like, I haven't had a technical home, a place to call home. Like, I've called places home because that's the place that I've lived, and that's the easiest thing to call it, but I've never felt like any of those places my home, because they haven't been. They're other people's homes. You know, and even when people are like, no, this is your home, treat this like it's your home, like, I don't think y'all understand what it's like to be almost 35 years old and not have those things, or like, you know, over 30, or even when I was in my 20s, like, I've dealt with being homeless so much in my adult life, living out of my car and just like moving around all the time, that even if this is just for a very, very short time, it's huge. Like, it's huge to me. It's extremely important for me just to have this space and to be able just to like enjoy this space and to not feel like any way in my space. Like, I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm not in a relationship. I don't have anybody over me, like, aside from making sure that me and my landlord are good and that I'm not, like, breaking any of the rules in the house. I should feel completely free to just, like, exist and to not have to, like, wait on anybody or have anybody wait on me, or to, like, have any interference of those types of energies. And that's what That's what this would be if, you know, there wasn't constantly this conflict of people finding me attractive, even when, like, we're obviously not in alignment energetically, or like people not really fully understanding what that means. And like, I fall for it too. If there's somebody that I'm attracted to and I'm interested in them, and like they share all of these, they hit all of these different levels, I'll start to fall for them and start to feel like, oh, this is so big. I'm starting to see this now on the outside, where like I realize how that's not really how it works. That's not how it works. And that like energetically, like there's so many things going on, and like you can be in complete alignment with somebody energetically on so many levels, but that doesn't mean that you're like right to be with each other at any given time. And like, I'm not looking to be with anybody right now. I'm really not. Like, I am so happy being single. I really am. Every once in a while I start to feel like, man, I would really like to get laid. And I don't want to just be like sleeping with a whole bunch of random people. Like, part of that's a guilt thing that I still have to get over, a guilt shame thing that I've carried my whole life. Because like, honestly, who gives a fuck? It's my body, it's my life. But like, at the same time, it's, you know, like me, like I want to enjoy developing intimacy with a single partner. Like, that's something that's important to me. It's something I've been working towards. So it's also frustrating to me when there's so many random people. Like, I might just be one person in your life that you find attractive, like, but I have all these people in my life that want my attention, and it's like, there's nothing wrong with any of these people, but like, if that's not where I'm at right now, and then I have like 20 different people at any given time that want to be with me in some sort of way, and like, do any of them actually want to be with me the way I want to be had? Like, I want to be with somebody? No, all they think about is themselves. Not in a mean way, but like, it's true. Like, when I have conversations with these people, when I try to open myself up to these people, like, they just talk nonstop about themselves, and like, because they're trying to get me interested in them, right? Because they want me to be interested in them. They want to share as much as they can with me so that I'm interested in them. But like, at what point are you not just making me an enigma, like something that can't be fully attained, but you're still going to try to work towards it? Like, those energies just get really crazy for me. Sorry, I have a kink in my neck. But like, especially when like I am in a living situation, like, this is supposed to be my peace. This is supposed to be my safety and my sacred space. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be able to come away from the world and to be able to have myself and be able just to like ground myself. The last thing that I need is to feel like there's this energy just waiting around for my attention. You know, that shit really, really gets on my nerves. And I don't quite know what to do with it. I was confronted with that similarly when I was working, the last time I was working here in Texas, and I was living with this woman, and her grandson stayed with us part-time, and then he had a friend that was also living with us, and like, that sort of energy was something I was dealing with all the time, and I dealt with it well because the only reason I was even living there was because I was working there. I was a professional. That wasn't my personal space. So like, although it was, I was able to find an easy balance because there was a duality. There isn't one here. This is just my space. Just my space to feel my way, to do what I want to do, even if that's stay in my space, like this room, for a fucking 3 weeks straight. That's me. And it's not like, you know, and it's one of those things where like, I hadn't met my second roommate prior to moving here. Well, I had met him briefly, but I hadn't talked to him. But I had shared multiple conversations with my landlord and the other roommate, who like, he's staying with his baby's mom. They just had a baby, so he's staying with her most of the time and only stops by to like do some of his personal stuff and mostly just check up on things because this is his house, and to make sure that everything's like running well and everything like that. And because he has some of his personal stuff here, like, like gym stuff or whatever. For the most part, he's not really here. Also because he travels for work, so he's not really here. The person who's here most of the time is the roommate I hadn't really met. And when I talked with the landlord and talked with him, like, we hit it off just fine. I was able to communicate, like, my desire for my own space and distance, and he assured me that that was what was being offered here. And I trusted him with that. And he's the type of person that can follow through on that. I know just from his personality. I can tell from the character that he has. I can tell from the way that he manages his house and the way he keeps his things. Like, he's an extremely particular person. He's a very minimalistic person. He's a very hardworking person that, like, is very one-track minded that way. So, like, you don't really got to worry about the bullshit with him. And when he says that, like, he means it because he doesn't have the time for it. That's, like, prime, right? That's where I'm at. But that's not where this other roommate is at. So it's like, inevitably, like, I'm a single woman that he happens to find attractive. So, like, although, he was pursuing this other girl and, like, obsessing over her, and, like, that's not working out, and, like, I've been there for him to talk to about it, but, like, that's just turned into this, like, I can feel the energy, and I hate that. I mean, I get that way when I'm living with women, too. That was something I explained to the landlord when I was talking with him, where I was like, that's why I've chosen not to live with women anymore. Now I just don't want to live with anybody, to be honest. Because when I've lived with women, every single one of them, I've never lived with a woman that hasn't had this weird codependency thing where, like, you can't be in their personal space without them being like, why aren't we involved in each other's personal lives? Like, we got to talk to each other all the time, and, like, it's, like, just to be friendly, but you have to, like, keep that up all the time. Where it's like, if we had a problem, I would tell you. Okay? But, like, I can't do that when there's, like, this tension and this energy and this constant, like, when you're up my ass about fucking everything energetically, like, then I can't even confront you, because then it's gonna be a fucking issue, right? Now you've got feelings. Now I've got to worry about your feelings when, like, I'm just trying to live my life, And I hate that, because I would love to be able to, like, be there for people and help them out. I have what it takes to help people out. I know how to say the right things. I know how to listen the right way. I know how to offer good advice, but, like, people don't just want that. They want to take more from that. And if I'm not doing it in a professional setting, suddenly people think that they can just take those things. They don't understand why they shouldn't be able to, especially if we're in each other's personal space like this. And that gets really, really frustrating for me. Because it's constant. It's constant. I want to get away from this shit. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. I would like to be able to move into a place to be able to offer those things professionally. It's hard because getting any sort of degree costs minimum like $7,000, which I don't have off the bat. I just worked for fucking 2 months straight, 24/7, getting paid 24/7 and didn't even make that much. That was like, I made enough to set myself up the way that I have, which is an incredible blessing. And I don't like when there's energies that are trying to interfere with that either for their own personal anything. Like, not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. And it's really frustrating just because I know that, like, the last girl that lived here didn't have to deal with that. Not the same way. No, she was actually bringing her own energy around and making things complicated. If she would have had the same sort of things going as me, they would have just ignored her and left her alone. She wouldn't have had to deal with this. So it's like, and that's what's frustrating, because, like, who cares? I should be able to look how I want to look, be able to dress how I want to dress, be able to feel good about myself the way I want to feel good about myself, without other people thinking that that means anything about them or that they get to take from that. Like, so what if you find me attractive? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I do this for me. Like, I make myself look, I used to not care for myself. I used to not care, and that was back when I wanted people to care about me all the time. I didn't understand. And then for a while I started taking care of myself because I realized that that's what it was that was going to actually like make things start to click. And as soon as I started taking care of myself, I didn't need people's validation anymore. As soon as I started to love myself, I could care less if other people are giving me that attention. And now it's annoying. Now I'm tired of it. Like, unless I'm asking for it, leave me the fuck alone. I don't like that I have to say this even in my very personal spaces. That's crazy. And like to think like, can you please step outside of yourself for a second just to understand what it must be like to be a single woman living like in the position that I'm living, and to like, you're gonna put me in the position to have to say anything about that instead of just considering like, oh, maybe this individual that's a grown ass individual just wants to like have their own time and space. And like, it's not that he's not giving me that, it's that the last few days while he's been giving me that, I can feel the tension about it. It's a tension like at any moment, you know, I'm expected to do anything. You know, like, I'm taking care of my responsibilities. My room is fucking clean. My shit is good. I cleaned the house. Like, I did a very good job. I've been preparing my own food. I don't ask for shit. Like, I'm not trying to be rude and I'm not trying to be unsocial, but I am unsocial. If I wanted to be social, I would be going out. Do you see me going out? Do you see me trying to make friends with anybody else? Do you think that my whole life revolves around being somebody that you see and that's in your reality? You don't even fucking know me. Like, that's what's so annoying too, because so many men do that. So many men do that. They find a woman even slightly attractive and suddenly she's never had any history or life outside of him. And like, her whole reality is supposed to revolve around them. They don't even like think twice about it. Like, it's not like it is a controlling thing, but like, they don't even realize it. It gets really fucking annoying because like, I've been around, met a lot of people, I've lived a lot of places with a lot of people. Like, this gets old real quick and it happens all the time everywhere. Ugh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Like, would I want to live with somebody I genuinely had interest in? Sure. Would I like to live with somebody that, like, I don't have genuine interest in but can just get along with? Yeah, like, but that just seems impossible to find, because even when I had that with the landlord, he's not the one that's here all the time. It's this other guy that's single and lonely and feeling a whole bunch of ways that I'm suddenly responsible for because I'm single and attractive. Dumb shit. Which is so annoying too, because I still have my own insecurities, but like, I was treated like an absolute fucking trash can most of my life. Like, up until I was 25. That's how I was treated, even by people I was actively dating. Like, I was a pig. I was subhuman. That's how I was treated. I didn't have people gawking at me all the time. Like, I didn't have, you know, the only people that ever gave me attention like that were grown-ass men when I was a child. And then in my teens, like, I got fat and awkward and just made fun of constantly. Dudes would literally, like, pretend to flirt with me and then make fun of me. Like, you really think that anybody would be attracted to you? Like, you think I would be interested in dating you? That's crazy. You're a fucking pig. Like, that's what I dealt with. So, like, to come into myself where I can just be comfortable in my own skin and then have a whole bunch of people treat me like I owe them something for it is insane. That's insane. When am I allowed just to be a person? Just to be my own person existing in my own reality without everybody up my fucking ass trying to control my shit all the time? I don't get it. Like, you don't think I've dealt with that shit enough with my family? And I can explain these things endlessly to everybody and nobody fucking listens. Nobody listens. Just thinking about it the other day where it's like, damn, even my best friend doesn't really believe me. He doesn't really believe this shit. I had to show him the artwork that was taken and put onto merchandise and sold without any credit to myself for him to be like, oh, I guess that really did happen. Like, yeah, I've been telling you for almost 3 fucking years that I got robbed that way. Like, but if you don't believe that, then right, like, and then you're gonna say that you believe the things about my family, but like, you wouldn't even make sure that my dog was okay while she was actively dying at my fucking parents' house. You couldn't do that. You're not gonna help me like find a lawyer. Nobody's gonna help me figure out how to make that work and to get any justice. Like nobody's helping me with any of that shit because nobody believes me. It gets extremely tiresome. That's why I just like being alone. And it's like even in my space where I'm alone, I don't feel like I can be alone because I have this like energy that just wants my attention right next door. It's so tiresome. My phone's about this. I don't know why. Apparently I didn't delete the video that I made last time because the storage is about to be up. So this is just a whole bunch of negativity I'm throwing out. I don't mean it to be. Hopefully somebody can relate and it doesn't just ruin your mood. If ever I'm saying something and it starts ruining your mood, just shut me off. Please don't. You do not have to listen to me. But I just need to get some of this shit out. I'm gonna take a breather. If I decide to make another video, I'll come back. Otherwise, have a good whatever day it is. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Find some space just to be yourself. Remind yourself that it's okay to. You're not a dick for having your own life. Blessings to you, and I'll see you again.